Level 1. The informant. You sit in a room with no windows. Two federal agents across from you. A tape recorder on the table. You've seen things. You know names. You know dates. You know where the bodies are, some of them literal. And now you're talking. The decision happened fast. Maybe you got caught yourself. Maybe someone you loved got hurt. Maybe you just got tired of watching it happen. The reason doesn't matter now. What matters is you opened your mouth and everything changed. They call you a cooperating witness. The paperwork says you're providing material assistance to an ongoing federal investigation. What it really means is you're a rat. And everyone you know will want you dead for it. The agents promise you protection. They promise you a new life. They say you'll be safe. You're not thinking about what safe means yet. You're thinking about the testimony, about the trial, about getting through this one immediate thing. The rest feels abstract, distant, like a problem for future you. You sign forms, so many forms, affidavits, proffer agreements, cooperation agreements, witness security program enrollment documents. Your hand cramps. The agent across from you slides another page forward. You sign, you don't know it yet, but you just became a ghost. Level 2. The safe house. You're in a motel outside a city you've never been to. 2 U.S. Marshals in the parking lot. 2 more in the room next door. You're not allowed to leave. You're not allowed to make calls. You have a burner phone with 3 numbers programmed in. All of them go to Marshals. They bring you food. Fast food, mostly. Burgers, Chinese, pizza. You eat it sitting on a bed that smells like cigarette smoke and industrial cleaner. The TV stays on all day. You watch it without seeing it. You're waiting for the trial. The Marshals rotate every 12 hours. They're polite, professional. They don't talk much. One of them is named Rick. The other says call him Marshall, like the job, because he thinks it's funny. You don't learn their real names. You've been here 3 weeks now. Or 4. Time moves different when every day is identical. You sleep badly. Every car door outside makes you sit up. Every footstep in the hallway stops your breathing. You're learning what it means to be hunted. Marshall tells you about a guy who testified against the Gambino family in the 90s. Went into the program, followed every rule, did everything right. 10 years later, someone recognized him in a grocery store in Kentucky. Shot him in the head buying milk. You don't know if the story is true, you don't ask. The point is clear. The trial is in 6 weeks, then comes the hard part. Level 3. The test. You walk into the courthouse through an underground garage. Marshals in front of you, marshals behind you. Bulletproof vest under your shirt. The hallways are cleared ahead of you. You don't see the defendant until you're on the stand. He stares at you the whole time. Doesn't blink. Doesn't move. Just stares. You know what the stare means. You've seen it before. It's a promise. The prosecutor asks you questions you've answered 100 times already in prep sessions. You recite dates, locations, conversations. You identify exhibits, photos, transcripts, surveillance footage. Every answer you give is another nail. Another year of someone else's life you're trading for your own. The defense attorney tries to break you, calls you a liar, a criminal, points out your own record, your own crimes, suggests you're making all this up for a deal. You stick to the script. The prosecutor told you this would happen, told you to stay calm, stay consistent. You're on the stand for 6 hours. Then 2 more days. By the end, your voice is hoarse. Your hands shake when you drink water. You don't look at the defendant again. You can feel him looking at you. The jury convicts. 15 counts. The defendant gets 40 years. You get a new name and a Greyhound bus ticket to nowhere. Level 4. The briefing. You're in a federal building in Washington, D.C. The real briefing. The one where they explain what happens next. A deputy U.S. Marshal named Flores walks you through it. The witness security program, they call it WITSEC, will relocate you to a new city. Provide you with new identification documents, social security number, birth certificate, driver's license, work history, all of it fabricated but legally real. They'll give you a stipend to get started. First month's rent, security deposit, enough for groceries. After that, you're on your own. You ask how much. Flores says it depends. Usually around 3 grand. You had 30 grand in cash under your mattress back home. You'll never see it again. They'll help you find a job. Nothing fancy. Nothing that requires background checks they can't control. Warehouse work, retail, manual labor. You mention your degree, your old career. Flores shakes his head. That person doesn't exist anymore. You can't contact anyone from your old life. Not your mother, not your brother, not the girl you were going to marry. No calls, no letters, no emails, no social media. The Marshal Service learned this the hard way. Every contact is a thread someone can pull. Flores tells you about a witness who lasted 9 years. Perfect record. Then his mother had a stroke. He drove back to see her in the hospital. Someone was waiting in the parking lot. You ask what happens if you break the rules, if you contact someone. Flores says they pull you out of the program. You're on your own. No more protection. No more new identity. Just you and whoever wants you dead. You sign more papers. You agree to everything. What choice do you have? Level 5. You land in a city you picked from a list of 3. You don't get to know the options beforehand. Just 3 names on a piece of paper. You chose the one that sounded warm. Turns out it's in the Midwest and winter here is brutal. A local deputy marshal meets you at the airport, hands you keys to an apartment you've never seen, drives you there in silence. The apartment is in a complex off a highway access road, 12 units. Parking lot with 2 broken lights. Your unit smells like the last tenant smoked for decades. The marshal hands you a folder. Inside is your new life. Your name is Thomas Richter now. You're from Pennsylvania originally. You moved here for work. You've never been to Pennsylvania. You spend the first night memorizing the details. Date of birth, parents' names, schools you attended, jobs you held. All of it fiction, but you have to know it better than your real history. The marshal tells you to avoid jobs with extensive background checks. Avoid places with security cameras everywhere. Avoid neighborhoods where people ask too many questions. Basically, avoid everything that might create a record of who you really are. You ask about dating. The marshal shrugs. It happens. People get lonely. Just don't tell them the truth. Most witnesses can't do that. Most witnesses eventually tell someone, and then it spreads. You're alone now in a way you've never been alone before. No family, no friends, no history anyone can verify. You're a placeholder, a name without a story, a person without a past. You look out the window at a parking lot in a city you never wanted to see, and you understand this is forever. Level 6. The adjustment. You get a job at a big box hardware store, loading trucks, moving pallets. The manager asks why you left your last job. You recite the cover story, wanted a change, needed a fresh start. He doesn't push. People working these jobs usually have something they're running from. You make small talk with coworkers, weather, sports. Whatever game was on last night, you don't offer details about yourself. When they ask where you're from, you say Pennsylvania. When they ask what brought you here, you say opportunity. The lies come easier than you expected. You eat dinner alone, frozen meals, takeout. Sometimes you cook, but cooking for one person feels pathetic. So mostly you don't. You watch a lot of TV. You go to bed early. You wake up in the middle of the night thinking you heard something. Your mother's birthday comes and goes. You almost call. You hold the phone. You dial 6 numbers. You stop. The marshals were clear. 1 call and the protection ends. 1 call and you're exposed. You put the phone down. You see a woman at the grocery store who looks like someone you used to know. Your heart rate spikes. You turn down another aisle. You leave without buying anything. You sit in your car shaking. It wasn't her. It couldn't be her. But your body doesn't know that. The isolation starts to calcify, hardens into something permanent. You stop trying to make friends. Stop going to the work happy hours. Stop pretending you're a person with a history worth sharing. You're Thomas Richter. You're from Pennsylvania. You keep your head down and your mouth shut. Some witnesses last a year like this, some last 5, some last forever. You're 6 months in and already you feel the weight of it. The silence, the loneliness, the slow suffocation of being no one. Level 7. The slip. You meet someone. You don't mean to. It just happens. Her name is Amy. She works at the coffee shop near the hardware store. You go in every morning, same order, black coffee, blueberry muffin. After 3 weeks, she has it ready when you walk in. She asks questions. Normal questions. Where are you from? Do you like it here? What do you do for fun? You give her the cover story. Pennsylvania. It's fine. Not much. She laughs. Says you're mysterious. You're not mysterious. You're terrified. You start staying longer. 10 minutes, 20. You sit at the counter and you talk about nothing. Music, movies, the weather. Surface level shit that doesn't require you to lie. She mentions her ex, how he couldn't commit, how he never let her in. You think about irony. 3 months later, you're at her apartment. You're cooking dinner together. You're pretending this is normal, that you're a normal person with a normal life. She asks about your family. You say you're not close with them. She says, that's sad. You agree. You almost tell her. Late one night, post-sex vulnerability, she's tracing patterns on your chest and she says, I feel like I don't really know you. You open your mouth. The truth is right there. You've been carrying it alone for so long, and here's someone who might understand, who might not run. You don't say it. You kiss her instead. You redirect. You make a joke. The moment passes, but the desire to tell someone doesn't pass. It grows, metastasizes. You start imagining the conversation, how you'd explain it, how she'd react. You know you can't. You know what happens if you do. But the isolation is eating you alive, and she's right there and she wants to know you. You're not the first witness to face this. You won't be the last. Level 8. The paranoia. You see a car in your apartment complex you don't recognize. Black sedan, tinted windows. It's there for 3 days. Then it's gone. Probably nothing. Probably a visitor. But you can't stop thinking about it. You start checking over your shoulder. Varying your route to work. Parking in different spots. Amy notices. Asks if you're okay. You say you're fine. You're not fine. A guy comes into the hardware store, mid-40s, leather jacket, sunglasses inside. He walks the aisles but doesn't buy anything. He looks at you twice. You duck into the back. Tell your manager you're sick. Go home. Sit in your apartment with the lights off watching the parking lot. You call your marshal contact. The number you're supposed to use only for emergencies. You describe the guy. The car. The feeling you're being watched. The marshal says they'll look into it. Tells you to stay calm. Easy for him to say. 3 days later, the marshal calls back. The car belonged to a resident's girlfriend. The guy in the store was a code enforcement inspector. Nothing connected to your old life. Pure coincidence. You thank him, hang up, don't feel better. Because maybe this time it was nothing. But eventually it won't be nothing. Eventually someone will recognize you, or piece together the lies, or get curious enough to dig. And then what? You run again? New city? New name? How many times can you disappear before there's nothing left? Amy wants to meet your family. Wants you to meet hers. Wants to plan a future. You make excuses. You deflect. She's starting to get frustrated, starting to think you're not serious about this. She's right. You can't be serious. Serious requires truth, and truth is the one thing you can't give her. You're trapped. Stay and risk exposure. Leave and face the loneliness again. There's no good option. There never was. Level 9. The end game. You've been Thomas Richter for 4 years now. You're better at it. The lies flow without thinking. You don't hesitate when someone asks your birthday. You don't flinch at your fake name. You almost believe it yourself sometimes. Amy is gone. You ended it. Couldn't give her what she needed. Couldn't give her the truth. She cried. Asked what she did wrong. Nothing, you said. It's me. That part at least was honest. You're alone again. Back to the efficiency apartment? Back to the frozen dinners? Back to the life you built that isn't really a life? Some witnesses make it work, build something real in the new identity, get married, have kids, create genuine relationships. You've heard about them. The success stories the marshals trot out when they need to sell the program. You don't know how they do it, how they sleep next to someone every night knowing it's all built on a lie. Other witnesses break, can't handle the isolation, go back to their old cities, their old lives. Most of them don't last long. The people they testified against have long memories and deep pockets, but at least they die as themselves. You're not brave enough for that. Not brave enough to go back. Not brave enough to really live here either. You're stuck in between. A ghost in a life that never fit. You think about the defendant sometimes, the one you testified against. He's in a federal prison in Texas, 23 hours a day in a cell, no freedom, no privacy, no life. And you think at least he knows who he is. At least his name is his own. You traded one prison for another. His has bars. Yours has a fake social security number and a cover story you have to maintain until you die. Some days you're not sure you made the right choice. Level 10, the applicant. A kid sits in a room with no windows. 2 federal agents across from him. A tape recorder on the table. He's young, 23 maybe. He's seen things. He knows names. He knows dates. And now he's talking. The agents promise him protection. Promise him a new life. Promise him safety. He's nodding. He's signing forms. He thinks he's choosing survival. He thinks this is the hard part, the testimony, the trial, the immediate danger. He doesn't know yet about the motel rooms, the isolation, the slow erosion of everything that made him who he was. He doesn't know about the 3 a.m. wake-ups, the paranoia, the relationships that can't happen because they require honesty he's not allowed to give. He doesn't know that 20 years from now he'll be someone else in some other city and he won't remember how it feels to be himself. The agent slides another form across the table. The kid signs it. His hand doesn't shake. Not yet. That comes later. After the trial, after the relocation, after... The first time he almost calls his mother and doesn't. After he realizes what he's really traded. But right now, he's just relieved. He thinks he's getting away with something. He thinks he's won. The tape recorder keeps spinning. The agents keep their faces neutral. They've seen 1,000 kids like this one. They'll see 1,000 more. The door closes behind him. The next ghost walks out into the world. The program continues. The cycle repeats. Someone always needs to disappear. Someone always thinks they can handle it. Someone is always wrong.